Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Big Four podcast. My name is Luke Spring, and I with the usual Brian, Nick, and Andrew. How are you guys doing tonight?
Brian, stop showing your Patriots
Terrific.
Super Bowl
Super Bowl champs,
champions.
baby.
I'm
No,
terrific.
the
Brian,
Buccaneers won, not the Patriots.
I
Just
have
so
something to
everybody
say.
is clear,
I have a
the
pl-
Patriots did not win.
I have a public
Yes.
service announcement,
I
but
will
I'm
give
gonna,
Luke the
I'm gonna
floor.
save it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna
Oh,
Say
save
it
okay.
now. Say it now.
I'm gonna say it
Say it.
later.
For what?
Fine. You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. Fine.
Do it.
If you are a Patriots fan, you can be a fan of a different player or another player on another team, but you are not a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. The amount of
Or else you're a
Instagram
bandwagoner.
stories I had to sit through of the Buccaneers winning. Yes, you can be
Very
a
true.
fan of Tom Brady. That's
Oh,
fine.
kill him.
That's fine. But do you see? My favorite basketball player of all time is Chris Paul. I'm not a Suns fan. I was never a Clippers fan. I was never a Hornets fan. I could care less if they frickin' win. It doesn't matter. You are a fan of the Patriots. Deal with that. Deal with the fact that your team sucked this year, and sit through the Super Bowl like every other NFL fan has to for their entire existence. Tampa Bay had to sit through a Super Bowl like this, like us Patriots fans, for I don't know how long. They've never been to the Super Bowl,
2002.
so forever.
19 years.
2002 was the last
19
time they were in the
years.
Super Bowl.
Isn't it kind of
Other-
sad? One thing.
other
Isn't it
teams-
sad
Go ahead, Brian.
that the Bucks have 2 Super Bowls this century, yet they're one of the worst franchises this century.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And
Since
Crazy.
2000.
Yeah,
And-
I think it was yesterday. It was Tom Brady out of all the 4 major sports has the best winning percentage. Tom Brady himself. And then the Buccaneers as a team had the worst winning percentage in all of the major 4 sports. It's
They have 2
crazy.
Super Bowls.
But think
Yes.
about it. Think about teams like the
The Marlins,
Lions,
too.
who haven't won a Super Bowl in 61 years. How do you think they feel? And now Patriots fans are sitting here, don't know what to do with themselves because Patriots aren't in the Super Bowl. So then they have to root for another team and say that they won the Super Bowl again. Oh, yeah. I swear, if there is a lick of a parade in Boston, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. The Patriots didn't win a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
There will be.
The Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers
Yes.
won the Super Bowl. You have to deal with that the team sucked, hope for a good draft and a rebuilding year next year, and continue to have faith in the Patriots that they'll get it back to the playoffs and eventually the Super Bowl. You don't have to just completely trash on them and just completely just not care about them anymore
Amen,
and be a
brother.
Tampa Bay
Yes.
What about
Bucks.
the people who signed the bandwagon release form?
Oh,
Well,
if you
they-
sign the release form, you are you can root. If you here's the thing, Luke.
Oh,
what if
that BS?
would it make
bandwagon BS?
Would it make you? Would it make you mad? Would it put you at ease if I just walked up to you right now and said, Luke, I'm a bandwagoner. Now let me go root for the Buccaneers.
No, because I hate bandwagoners. It's stupid. That's why I hate Patriots
Yes.
fans, because as soon as the Patriots aren't good anymore, which
I didn't root for
hasn't
the Buccaneers,
happened-
by the way.
hasn't
I root for
happened
the
in
Chiefs.
our
I just want to make that
it,
clear.
it has
Dude,
and again
bandwagon.
it's
I'm not a
so
bandwagoner.
okay. I am not saying that you're like are a bandwagon because you rooted for the Bucks. You can't claim that your team won a Super Bowl now though, because they didn't. You could
Yeah.
root for a team. Like I was a Chiefs
Yeah.
fan, but like if the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, I wasn't gonna go on my
I root for the
Instagram story and
Chiefs.
post like 18 things about it
No.
and say, "Go, you know what?
Yeah.
Go
No.
Chiefs! They were my team." You can root for
Right.
a team and you can be happy for a player.
I rooted for Brady and
not-
Gronk.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
a
see,
fan
like,
of the Tampa Bay
that's
Buccaneers.
fine.
That's just not.
But you
so-
can't. But so to be clear, seeing Brady win, I wasn't like mad about it. But it's not. It's totally different with the Super Bowl because there's only 2 teams than the entire year. So if you want, so you only
You
have
can
2
root for a
teams
team
to
for
choose
one
from.
game. I agree with that.
Exactly. So if it's the Super Bowl, it's only between 2
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah,
You
I
get
wasn't
to
rooting
just
for the
pick-
Bucks
something to
before
root
the
exactly.
for.
So you
playoffs.
just pick a team. That's all you have to do. But if you just like pick a team that's just like, oh, they're doing pretty well. All right, let's just jump ship.
Right. You can't
Or-
jump that mid-season, right? Yeah, it's something
Exactly.
like I'm just like, I know there are sports fans, and Brian, you've talked to me about this. You're one of you fall in this category where you can't watch a sports game, or a lot of times you can't watch a sports game with no purpose. Like you have to be rooting for someone to lose or someone to win. And a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people think that I can't watch the Super Bowl if I'm not rooting for somebody. So that's why we place bets on teams so you can get a favorite, someone to root for. So there's that aspect. If you're one of those people that you just root for the Bucks or you root for the Chiefs just because you wanted someone to root for, you're not a bandwagoner. It's one game.
Exactly.
It's what makes
No,
sports enjoyable for you.
I understand that. It's just the people who claim the Bucks are their team
who
now
basically
because of the
think
team.
that, yes, exactly. Who basically are just like, the Buccaneers are my team now. Like, no, they're not.
And Patriots fans should be happy.
You shouldn't have rooted. If you're a Patriots fan, you shouldn't have rooted for the Bucks down the road.
These type of Super Bowls are the best type of Super Bowls because they're not stressful and you just get to watch and enjoy the game. When the Patriots aren't in the Super
Exactly.
Bowl, it's not stressful. You just get to kick back, eat some food, and enjoy the game. When the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, actually, I can't really speak for myself because Patriots are my fourth team, so like I could really care less if they won or lost. I mean, obviously I would like if they win, but I can imagine
the Bruins,
for people who love
Or
the
Kansas.
Patriots like you, Nick, and you, Brian, and you, Andrew, that Patriots Super Bowls are one of the most stressful things in your entire lives.
I've sweat out.
Yes, this Super Bowl was really like the first time, because like last year I was just really salty because of the way that they went out. This is the first time where I just like sat down. The food was great. I enjoyed myself.
You enjoyed it,
but
yeah.
I mean,
Luke,
put my name in some squares. Like,
Luke,
it was a fun time.
You said the Patriots are your fourth team. Are you talking Bruins 3 or Kansas 3?
Oh no, not Kansas. The Bruins are 3. Again, like, but I watch more football than I do hockey. But I'd rather the Bruins win a Stanley Cup than the Patriots.
Is that just
Super
simply
Bowl.
because we've won so many times?
It's a combination of that. Plus I'm just like I'm a football fan more than I am a Patriots fan. Like I like to watch good football games. Like if the Patriots lose in a close football game, I'll be like, okay, that was like the Seahawks game this year. I was just like, I loved watching that game. That was so fun.
Yeah, it was a
But
good
if
game.
the Celtics or the Red Sox or the Bruins lose in a close game, I'll be like, what the F, and make a bunch of excuses in my head and be super pissed off and not realize that it was actually a good game. So I mean, that's the difference.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the difference.
All
That
right.
was my spiel.
Let's get the kickoff.
Now we can actually start about the game. Brian, since you had most of the picks right, you can start us off on what your analysis of this game was.
Shame on you guys. You bet against the GOAT. You can't bet
And I will
against
next
the
year
GOAT.
if he's in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely will too. I mean, this
You
guy's
can't
44
bet
next year.
against
I'm
the
going to bet against him so many times. I'm sorry.
He just keeps playing better. He hasn't shown one sign of not being what he was in 2014, 2011, MVP in 2007. He hasn't shown any of that. He just keeps getting. He hasn't really changed.
Yep.
He adapts to how he should play, and he continues to play at an incredible level. And not only does his play continue to be really good, his presence brings out the best of every single person, not just on the team as a player, in the coaches, in the training staff, in everybody. His presence changes how an organization runs completely. Tampa Bay was one of the worst organizations in sports history. That he shows up there
12 straight years before this year.
Just regardless of that, they're just a pathetic organization.
Mm-hmm.
He comes into Tampa. Not only do they win the Super Bowl, they are looking like they're favorites for the Super Bowl next year if they re-sign their players, which I don't see how they won't because they have Tom Brady. And it's crazy.
I went to the Pats.
Evans already said he's going to take a pay cut. Evans already said it.
See, it's
that's
the Brady
Tom
effect.
Brady effect.
It's not the Patriot way. It's the Brady effect.
As much as we can we can just talk about. I can talk about how good Tom Brady is all day. I could, but I want to talk about the Chiefs a little bit here because I'm very disappointed with the way they showed themselves.
Worst game plan of all time.
It shouldn't be obvious to someone watching the game how bad your game plan is. It shouldn't be that obvious. I mean, it's a game plan. You're supposed to adjust. But the Chiefs went in. I could tell you what the Bucs game plan was. They were clear. They're going to keep the passing short early. They were running. Their attack was consistent and simple, and it worked. Kansas City didn't even adapt, and they couldn't get anything going offensively. They couldn't get anything going in the air. So you know what Andy Reid does? He said, "Okay, Patrick Mahomes, you got this. Just take a breather at halftime. We don't have to discuss anything. You got this. You can do it."
You had a 40-minute halftime, and you do the same thing.
You had a 40-minute halftime, and you couldn't make a single adjustment. Come on. You see people talk about Andy Reid being this great coach. No. This showed he's not a great coach. This shows, and I think this is why the Chiefs got themselves into a lot of close games in the regular season. This shows that when push comes to shove, when they face adversity, Andy Reid just says, you know what? I have Hill, Kelsey, and Mahomes. I have an elite trio. Let them dig let's let them dig our team out of this hole that we've dug ourselves in. Let them come back and win. That's why they have so many comeback victories. But this time they play a team that knew how to close out. They played a quarterback that knows how to close out and finish games strong. And that's why they got clobbered, absolutely annihilated in this game. I don't care about the tackles. I don't care about whatever. I don't care about all of that. I am frustrated with the way that Kansas City went about this game. It's like this is the final exam, and they didn't even study.
And if you look at it, if you look at the two game plans, I wouldn't say Tampa's game plan, Brady's game plan, because I don't think everyone's like, Byron Leftwich, oh my God, he should be a head coach. What an
we were
offensive
talking about
coordinator.
that. Brady was
Brady,
the head coach.
Yeah, like Luke,
It showed. Hold on, the one play, the AB touchdown at the end of the half. He says so. They were in 5 wide. Andy Reid calls a timeout to see what they were in, and Tom goes to either Leftwich or Arians, whoever was calling the plays, and apparently one of them wanted to switch it, but Brady wanted to stick with the same play because he thought it was going to work, and they trusted Brady and he got him a touchdown.
He was going at Tyrann Mathieu, which I think is so funny.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. He's the biggest tool bag in the league. But so if you look at the two game plans, Brady's game plan was, hey, Kansas City's defense, interior defense is terrible.
He can adapt.
They have their corners and safeties are fine, but they're not great.
We adapt.
But he realized that their front couldn't get enough pressure on him, and that the linebackers are invisible on that team. So what is he going to do? They're going to run the ball. They're going to run short passes and utilize the tight ends and the pass game. How many times did Fournette and Jones do a little chip block and go out 2 yards and catch a ball and be untouched for 10 yards? Where are the linebackers? You're on that guy. Where are you?
Exactly.
Full agreement. And
But one sec. You look at Kansas City. Their game plan was run deep and try and run around in circles and catch the ball. You can't run deep and catch the ball when your quarterback's getting sacked because you have 2 seconds to throw it. You got to run short passes and get the ball out quick, but those receivers don't know how to run a route because all they know how to do is run downfield, run in circles, and hope the freaking ball finds them. But when it does find them, it hits them in the helmet.
That's why Kelsey had the most receptions, is because the majority of his catches were across the middle on like just simple hitch routes. Like, that's the only way that they were going to complete passes. Tyreek Hill can't do that. He was doubled on every single route that he ran.
Right. Does anyone else?
They didn't change anything.
Did anyone else find it a coincidence, or any find it funny? I noticed this around the third quarter, that Kansas City success completing passes inside 10 yards worked, and they have elusive receivers. They got guys that can get yards after the catch. And what I saw was success. And when technically, when a team is bringing all this pressure, Mahomes, 56 dropbacks, 29 hurries, that's a big over 50% of the time. And Tampa only blitzed 10%, less than 10% of those dropbacks.
They were getting pressure going rushing 3.
No, yes, exactly. And when it's obvious the offensive line is collapsing, Eric Bieniemy, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid collaborate at halftime. Hey, we're getting sacked. Let's stop throwing deep. All right, let's throw underneath. That's working. And you know what? They couldn't even do that. When the pocket collapses, Patrick Mahomes, I love what he was doing with his feet. He was making elusive plays. Patrick Mahomes actually was the only bright spot in that Chiefs. He just couldn't get anything going because the entire team stunk except for him. But the underneath routes, those were completing passes. Those were working. And they still proceeded to try and get it to Tyreek Hill somewhere downfield. And Patrick Mahomes has a cannon for an arm. Who cares? When there's 20 guys back in coverage, you're not going to complete the pass.
So this is a look that says, is this why Bieniemy didn't get hired? Does he really not run an offense? Do they just run deep and hope to catch it? And that's why they look flashy. And the other thing is, Kansas City had a little bit of success with running in the start of the third quarter. Edwards-Helaire had a couple good runs.
Yeah, he did.
He run the ball.
They were down by so
I know
much.
they were down, so they couldn't run it. But they didn't run it in the first half. They should have done it in the first half. They live and die by chucking it 30 yards downfield. You can't play football like that.
Patrick Mahomes' longest pass, I believe, is like in the first half at least. It was probably the one when Kelsey. It was 14 yards. In the first half, it was 14 yards. And it was to Tyreek Hill, and it only the air time on the ball was probably. I mean, it probably only went like 3 yards in the air, and then Tyreek Hill ran for 14. He ran for 11 yards to make it 14.
He completed one deep ball to Kelsey in like the second half in back in their own territory.
So I
Mahomes,
mean, but still, it was.
You think? I don't think he
not
played
impressive.
that well. He was fine.
I think he played
but
very
he wasn't
well.
hitting.
He played very
I know
well.
guys were dropping passes, but he played
he
better.
played
I
very
feel like in
well.
the second half trying to force it. But his passes early on, he wasn't near his receivers.
Well, Luke, I know
He was
you wanted.
airmailing throws. He was throwing away. Like he wasn't hitting like that throw to Hardman.
All right.
Hardman was wide open. And he overthrew him by 15 yards. He threw in rolling to his left. I forget who it was.
Yeah,
probably,
that one was bad.
Robinson
He didn't
also
put any
wide open.
air under it.
Overthrew him by
Hold
a
on.
ton.
Let me tell you this, Brian.
He
When
started
you're
like 1 for 9.
when you're dropping back 56 times in a game and you're pressured 29, can you name a quarterback in the league that would be able to throw for 300 yards? If you're being pressured 29 times,
His 300 yards mean nothing.
He did some really, really good things for that Chiefs team. They just couldn't get anything done because he's getting pressured the entire time. You name a quarterback in the league that would do some of the stuff that Mahomes did. You think Brady would? I mean, Brady's 40,
I'm not
Brady's
saying
43. He wouldn't have been able to do a thing. If the Tampa Bay offensive line collapsed like the Chiefs did, this game would have been an absolute runaway. Well, actually, the Tampa Bay's D did hold, but still, they wouldn't have gotten anything going offensively.
Also, Brady gets the ball out quick, so you still never know. But I'm not saying Mahomes didn't do good things. I'm just saying
really
I don't
good.
think
he
he
was
played.
really good. I was impressed by him.
He didn't play like his normal self at all.
Because he was getting pressure the whole time, and he kind of has.
No, I know
toe.
that.
He's not 100%, and he's getting pressure the whole time. He's been throwing on the run every single play. That's Luke, I know you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I keep going because I'll say it when you guys are done.
Go, we're
I'm
done.
good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So first of all, this game shows the importance of offensive line being your offensive line being healthy. Like that's extremely, extremely important. And the fact of the matter is, Bieniemy, I think you're right, Brian. I don't know what he does to call plays and look at
No, I don't think
defenses.
he does it.
They don't adapt
Because I don't think he does. They don't adapt, and I think they were very focused on one coverage that the Bucs were going to run the entire game, and the Bucs did a good job of flipping it. So in the actual game, during the actual game, what I thought the Bucs were doing well was they played like a 4-4-3 type thing, like 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers in a zone, and then 3 deep. But in reality, I watched the game again, mainly on the Chiefs side of the ball earlier today, and that was when the Chiefs got most of their completions were zones because they're very good at finding the pockets and finding where the
That's what
defense
Kelsey
is
does
in.
well.
That's what they
Exactly.
do well. That's why he had a bunch of catches.
Kelsey, one of the best performances we'll never care about.
When
Okay, he looked slow. He didn't look like himself.
That's
He
what I
also
was
looked
saying.
slow.
I didn't
He
know
looked
if that was the
unenergized.
entire year, but he looked
he
really
looked
slow.
terrible.
He
had a
looked really
terrible
slow.
game.
Luke,
I don't care that
continue.
he caught 9 balls for 113 yards or whatever it was. He played terrible.
He looked
A little more than that.
He had no
Anyways,
burst.
what they did do poorly was, and I don't know if this might not be accurate or not. It's very close, but it's not like 100% accurate because I don't have an all 22 view because it was just the actual view. But out of Mahomes' 26 completions, around 22 of them were against zone coverage. That means he completed 4 passes against the man coverage of the Bucs. And the reason of that is because they played a very good press man where they would hold the receivers for 1 to 2 seconds on the line. And since the offensive line was already injured for the Chiefs, what's his face? Todd Bowles, he knew that his defensive lineman would get to Mahomes very quickly. So all you needed to do was stunt the receivers at the line of scrimmage, wait 1 or 2 seconds, and before they even run their route, Mahomes is dead. So they did a very good job of holding the receivers at the line, and they did a very good job of of trailing technique. So they mainly did a man with 2 high. So the man coverage, they would have someone underneath following the route underneath. So it looked like Tyreek Hill or Kelsey or McCole Hardman were beating their man, when in reality, Mahomes couldn't throw that because there were 2 high safeties up over top to help with any deep balls. So they did and they did, again, the game plan was also terrible because to beat man coverage, you do a lot of, what do you call them? Rub routes, I guess is
Rub
what you
routes,
can say.
mesh
Rub routes.
routes.
And the few completions that did happen, one that comes to mind is the Tyreek Hill one when they were going, I think it was in this.
Were they pushing for their own end zone?
Yes,
It
it was
was
when
the
Mahomes
first-
had that
yeah.
sidearm throw.
when he
over
was
the-
when he was cutting. He was on the right side. He cut across the middle on man coverage. His guy was on his back. His safeties were too deep to get to Tyreek Hill. It was
Yeah.
a little like 8-yard throw, but it turned into like 15, 16 because Tyreek Hill can run faster than DBs. But he was wide open there.
Mhm.
In man coverage and in zone, they just sent everyone deep. There was no reason to do that at all. They needed to play a Tom Brady style of offense and do quick passes so that they can get guys in open space. And it's back to the thing. I always bring this up on our podcast. I don't know why. But the freaking Derrick Henry against the Ravens. Get your best players out in space. You can't get your players out of space if you can't get them the ball. So get them the ball early so then they can do things in space. Let Tyreek Hill run. He didn't get any chances to run because he never got the ball because he was 20 yards
He
downfield
actually
in triple
surprised.
coverage.
It was
I
bad.
was surprised. He had 7 for 74. I didn't think he had 7 catches, but I guess he did. I was surprised with that.
He-
Their
well, he
stat
had-
lines were irrelevant just because
Yeah,
they
they
caught
were-
a few
Exactly.
balls late when Tampa wasn't trying.
Here's the
It
thing about the
doesn't
Chiefs.
matter.
Like, I'm looking at their schedule right now. Houston, they roll against Houston. They roll against the Chargers. The games
seriously,
they didn't
Mhm.
face adversity in the regular season. Tampa did. Tampa lost to the Saints twice. Tampa got blown out by the Saints. Tampa lost to the Rams. Tampa lost to these teams. Tampa lost 5 games in the regular season. They lost 5 games, and they had to play four postseason games. I mean, I think that Tampa Bay obviously it's the Brady way. The game plan is always key because Brady's not this electric quarterback. He just does his job, and that's what makes him so good because
Keep it simple,
he doesn't
stupid.
make a lot of mistakes. That's what made him. That's what made his name the do your job thing. He just in a perfect world, play call should work in a perfect world. And when your quarterback is doing your job right, the guy that gets the ball every play, when he's doing the job right, it's almost like you're playing in a perfect world, right? And I think that when it came down when the Chiefs were struggling. They're so used to letting Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill make these fantastic plays downfield, big yardages, get their team back into the games, all this stuff. But in reality, when they played a team that knew how to close, now you're saying, all right, Buccaneers know how to close. They got Tom Brady. He's the greatest of all time. It's going to be tough to come back in this game. Oh, by the way, our offensive line is absolutely destroyed, and we can't get any kind of pocket protection.
If San Fran just had a more experienced quarterback last year, Kansas City easily loses.
If
They
Jimmy
played terrible in that
Garoppolo hit
game.
the
They
pass
just
to
scored 3
Sanders, they
touchdowns
would've won.
late. They had 10 points with 7 minutes left in the
Mhm.
game.
If Jimmy Garoppolo completed the pass to Emmanuel Sanders, they would have won the Super Bowl.
Yes, Kansas City.
Kansas City is
I
one
think, a
pass
bunch
away
of
from
frauds.
losing both
Seriously.
from being 0 for 2 in Super Bowls. One pass.
Yeah.
That's it. And they had to come back in every game. That only works for so long, folks.
Yeah,
They
the
almost
playoffs
lost to the
last
Browns.
year.
Henne closed it out. That was a good play. That was a good, down the stretch close up by the Chiefs with Chad Henne. Then they get to Buffalo. They go down early. Oh, here comes Mahomes and Kelsey coming back, taking the lead and killing Buffalo. Then they get to the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Chiefs go down early. I'm sitting there in the first, second quarter thinking, all right, well, they're fine. They're down 14-3. They'll probably come back. No, the Bucks closed it out well because they have Tom Brady. Realize who you're going up against. They need Tom Brady to get Tom. We said on the podcast, Tom Brady can't run with Mahomes. Now, it didn't look like Mahomes would. It didn't even look like Mahomes could run with Brady. But Mahomes did finish with more stats that they passed more. But Tom Brady needed the lead. That all he needed. Tom Brady gets a 2-3 touchdown lead. He can cruise to victory with that lead. He won't. It's very tough for him to
He'll
blow that
control
kind of
the
lead.
clock. He'll make the right play.
That's what he did.
And he
The
won't.
most
he won't
crucial
make a
thing,
mistake.
though,
He won't turn
the
it over.
most well, I was just gonna say that the most crucial thing was that he didn't turn the ball over and didn't give them an extra possession.
Mhm.
That was huge.
That
Huge
was
for
weird.
him.
Did he fumble? Did he fumble in the game?
No,
Yeah,
it was
but
the bad.
There was a
well,
bad
it was
snap.
the snap. So
Because on ESPN when they were
It
going
has
over
him as a
this
fumble.
morning, they had a
It ha-
stat
yeah.
line, and it said like 3 touchdowns, comma fumble. I'm like, whoa.
Or he didn't lose a fumble.
Yeah, he
so it's
didn't
not
lose
really
it,
a
he
fumble.
recovered it,
But like,
but-
what?
That's when Saka hit the 53-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
They
But
didn't.
I
Yeah, they didn't
do.
turn it over.
So
Field goals. They didn't. The punter did.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, was it the Buccaneers punter that also had a shank too? They both have shanks.
No.
The
Buck-
Chiefs punter
Pinion
had
was fine.
Chiefs
bad
punter,
shank.
Shank
Chiefs
the-
punter had
shank-
3
shank the
punts.
Bucks in the
They
field
didn't
goal range.
return the ball once.
He shanked the Bucks in the
The
field goal range.
Buccaneers did not
Twice.
return a punt yesterday. They didn't return a punt.
He
And I feel like
shanked
the
twice,
Chiefs
and then they
punted a
couldn't
lot.
punt towards the end. And
31-9.
I mean, it was
wow,
they
what a
they
what a
held on,
stupid
and
game.
Romo said it. that like everyone's getting mad about these calls. He's like, this is how the Chiefs play. They hold on every play.
Yep.
They just bank on it not getting called. He literally said that. And what happened? It got called because they literally hold on every play.
I didn't like the. I mean, obviously
Yeah,
the
11
interception.
for
the
120
interception,
was pretty bad.
I didn't like the one on the interception.
PI in the end
pass
zone, that was
deflected
not
off
good.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Fournette into the hands of Matthew. I didn't like that call. I thought that was ticky tack. Obviously, Evans wasn't targeted and
He
didn't
held
really
the
affect
shoulder,
play.
so
That doesn't
I
matter
didn't,
if you're
I
not
didn't like
targeted.
that call. I didn't like that call. I thought that flag could have been picked up or not called, but either way, it didn't affect the outcome of the game. It would have been a blowout either way.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, so personally, yeah, Brady did his job. Congrats, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. You can definitely argue him for Super Bowl MVP. I think though it should have gone to Devin White. Personally,
That's who my like bold. It should have been Shaq Barrett actually.
I mean, yeah,
3
Shaq Barrett's
sacks,
a
8
good one.
quarterback hits.
I mean, yeah, but Devin White, 12 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss,
And
and
a
a
pick.
pick to seal the game.
Well, I mean, the game. Was already
That's who I
sealed.
said my
The game.
my
The other
dark
thing about that
horse.
pick, though, it's not like he sealed
Well,
the game. The game was kind of already. The game was already sealed.
I guess
Kansas
so.
City had no chance to
but-
win that game unless they scored. It was they had to get touchdown, 2-point onside recovery, touchdown. Hope there's time left. Onside recovery, touchdown again to tie the game.
I
That's
was
what you need.
really hoping it was Gronk just for the speech. Like I knew it wasn't gonna happen, but it would have
Gronk
been
is
so funny.
amazing. I love-
Just like his high pitched laugh, just him not just
I mean-
confused the whole time. He's just so funny. It would have been such an awesome moment for him to be
Mhm.
named Super Bowl MVP.
That would have been pretty funny. But the fact that this defense for Tampa held, I think that's the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that Patrick Mahomes has gone without a touchdown in his
Lost
entire
by more
career.
than a touchdown. Yep.
No,
Yeah, in his
just not
career,
scored a
Mhm.
touchdown at all in his entire career. Like
Yeah.
he hasn't. I don't think he's never ever had
First
a game like that.
time
And lost by
without a
more than a
touchdown.
touchdown.
And the fact,
Well, yeah, but
okay.
he also
Two
this is the
firsts.
first time that he hasn't scored one either.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
two times.
that
It's
is
It's hard to
crazy.
lose by less than 1 score.
Here,
and
I know.
not
so
score a
we're going
touchdown.
over all of these, crazy phenomena that happened in this game, especially on the Chiefs side of the ball. I mean, look on the other side, Tom Brady doing this to Mahomes, dismantling the Chiefs, not turning it over, going 11-5 in the regular season, only had 1 win against a team above 500, and then he just bull rushes his way through the entire NFC, takes down the Chiefs like it was nobody's business.
Brady's dangerous
Bay
at
was-
11-5.
I mean, my good. Tampa never Casey never held that game. They never held, although they went up 3-0.
Yeah, Nick. All right.
Kansas City scored first, right? Casey went up 3-0, right?
Yeah, they went the field goal.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the only lead. I mean, my gosh, Tom Brady, man, Thomas
I mean,
Edward Brady.
back to the defense though. I mean, Levante David had a great game too, and I mean,
They all
and
did.
I
Everyone
mean,
on the
this
defense had a
is
great
why
game.
I'm thinking that Kelsey was just really slow, is because he was able, like a
hitting
linebacker
him.
was able to cover him.
They were
That's why
hitting
I was thinking
so
that
slow.
he did.
He was so
I-
slow. I mean, he was getting hit He was getting harassed.
yeah,
on
he
all
was
his
he was
routes.
slipping a few times. He just looked slow. I mean, Levante
by
David
the
did
way,
a great
he's a-
job on him.
I mean, do you
mean-
expect him to be really? I mean, yeah, he's Travis Kelsey, but he's a big tight end, and
He's not a big tight end. He's not a Gronk body tight end. He plays more like a
No, the
receiver.
big
Gronk
guy.
He's basically a receiver
Gronk dominated Kelsey in this game.
for sure.
Physically
yeah.
and
What? Gronk
route
dominated
running
Kelsey
and
in this game.
like just by looks of
You
it.
say dominate? Gronk dominated 10 for 133. He had Gronk 664
Kelsey's
dominated.
catches
It
and
10 for
yards were
Nick,
133.
irrelevant.
receptions and catches did not matter in this
They were
game.
irrelevant. He had the most
Dominate,
irrelevant stat line
though?
ever.
Dominate.
Yes.
I don't think the word
Yes.
dominate's appropriate here because Travis
I
Kelsey
wouldn't say
was
dominate. I
slow,
would at least say
Sluggish.
I would say
I at least say
definitely
Gronk played a very
Outperformed.
good game, but Travis Kelsey.
Yeah,
And
but
Gronk's
the
blocking.
receptions
Gronk led the way on
yes.
that Fournette touchdown. His block
Exactly.
on that play was
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Well, yeah, obviously Gronk played better, but I don't think dominate's the right word.
Okay, but
Kelsey
wouldn't-
played
I
bad.
w-
Kelsey,
wouldn't
yeah,
say-
Kelsey did play
wouldn't-
bad.
I wouldn't say dominate.
Yeah, Kelsey had
Outperformed thoroughly.
Kelsey had a bad
Thoroughly,
drop.
that's the same. You might as well say dominate. You just
No,
just
that's it's
outperformed him.
different.
Just say he
It's-
played better than
Nick, whatever.
dominate.
It's
Dominate is.
Travis Kelsey had a
you
bad
know,
game. I don't care that he
it
caught
doesn't
9
matter,
balls.
Nick.
He didn't do anything.
He wasn't dominated. He wasn't.
Okay,
I'm
he
not
was.
saying. I'm not saying Gronk was worse. I'm
I
saying Gronk was
know.
better. I'm just saying you wouldn't dominate him. I mean, Kelsey
That's what I
Kelsey
that
put
I
up
said
good
that
numbers.
I first of all,
His
the numbers didn't
didn't
matter.
mean
Second of
anything,
all, I
though.
said that he was
They
beat.
were letting him get those late in the game. 5 of those catches were in the fourth quarter.
Brian, dominate's the word there.
Okay.
But he did look slow. He was slow.
He did look slow. He looked
Yeah,
very
fine.
slow.
And he also had the most crucial drop of the game that changed it all. He
Yeah.
makes that catch. Kansas City drives. They don't shank a punt and
The
Yeah, that was
deep
a
ball,
bad-
the deep ball over the defensive back. That's a Kelsey catch to make. He didn't catch that. He should have caught that.
He should have.
The
Tyreek
one
Hill
that-
should have caught
That's
the
the
ball that
catch
went
that he
straight off
made.
his
The one on
face.
the one on the right sideline where he
Yeah.
was getting that one.
yeah.
There was also another one where he was way down the. There was a Mahomes on third. I forget. Might have been third
Oh,
down.
that was not
Through
a
a move?
that was not a
That's
drop.
a Kelsey catch to make. He was one-on-one with a defensive back.
That was not a drop.
one-on-one with the DB. DB's
No,
head
it wasn't
was
a
turned.
drop, but it was. I
That
feel
wasn't
like
a drop.
Kelsey,
That wasn't a drop. But
it wasn't a drop, but it's
Kelce.
something. It's Travis Kelsey should have made that.
It's a
play.
Kelsey catch. He's the best tight end in the league. He's one of the best receivers in the league. He was top 5 in receiving yards. It's Travis Kelsey. He's the best tight end in the league.
No,
That's a
the
Kelsey
drop
catch to
had-
make.
The
Just
drop
'cause-
he had after Kansas City makes the goal line stand after Tampa's bad play calling.
Yes,
that's when
that drop,
that's
yeah.
when I think it wasn't Brady calling plays at the goal line. So Kansas City gets the ball out. They complete the pass to Hill to get it out to the 15. They now have it at third down. Mahomes scrambles out, throws to Kelsey. He bricks it off his hands. He makes that catch. They're pushing the 40-yard line, 1st and 10, driving down 7-3. Instead, they have to punt. They have the drop punt snap hold. Punting out of the end zone shakes it. It goes from Kansas City driving near midfield to the Bucs taking over at Kansas City's 38-yard line.
Yeah, was
That
bad.
changed the game right there. They can drive down and score in any way and make it
Yeah.
either lead or one-score game. That was the
He
difference
had a
between
crucial
Travis
drop. I
Kelce's
think
drop.
they're that ball definitely, and then the one that I think it wasn't a drop, but it wasn't I mean, it's a very difficult catch to make. But
I don't even
Kelsey
remember
catch.
that being.
Yes, he didn't. He wasn't
catchable
really
ball.
himself today. He wasn't himself today. He was not. But he wasn't
Yesterday.
I've seen a lot worse. Tell you what, I've seen a lot worse than what he did yesterday. Seen a whole lot worse.
They just the game plan sucked. They got
They look like-
outplayed.
The
It
game-
just
no,
looked like they showed
It's
up for a
not-
game
Kelsey's
against the
not
Jets in
reason they
September.
lost. The game plan. The game plan. It's like in school. They have really bad study habits. They think, you know what? I'll let Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill just go to work, and if we're down, we just come back and win. Like, hey, when your defense isn't playing well, when your defense can't really get a stop, and you're getting dominated time possession wise, and your pocket's collapsing, like that doesn't work like that. This is a tough game. You're playing the best team from the NFC. Okay, this is the best team you're going to play all season. You played them once, you beat them in the first quarter. After that, you lost. You got killed after that, by the way. And this is 31-9 is what happens when you don't care, when you expect that your best players can carry the load for you. 31-9 is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Antoine
just-
Winfield
so-
should get the MVP for the peace sign.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
Most
But
valuable
okay, so I just wanted to say another thing that really makes me mad. So
penalty. Grange
when
McNeese.
when people say that Brady was carried by his defenses, they're gonna bring up this game. And guess
People are
what?
salty.
Every single basically they're mad at Brady for having a good team. Every
Those are
single
all
team,
Degenerate sports fans.
exactly. Every single team that has won a Super Bowl has not had a bottom 25% in the league defense.
Their defense is like 6th overall this year, but still.
Exactly. But so, all right. So then what are you just going to take Russell Wilson's ring away from him because the defense
No.
dominated? Are you going to take Peyton Manning's ring away because his defense dominated?
No, I'm saying like
no.
Brady's
No,
defense
so
was bottom
yeah, I know what you're
25.
saying, but I'm just
Or
saying
6th
to
overall.
those people who are just like, oh, he got carried by
All
his
these teams
defense.
have good defenses. When you get to the
Shut
Super Bowl,
up.
they all have good defenses. Once you
Exactly.
get back there, they all have
Exactly.
good
The
defenses.
Chiefs.
But it's
That's the
well,
con-
yeah,
that's the
yes,
that's the
obviously, but it's apparent. It's
constant.
different.
all the
for
winners,
Brady
all the winners,
because he
all the winners have good defenses.
yes, but but for Brady he was carried, so those don't count as much.
No.
What
Like,
about
that's just so
mistakeless
stupid.
offensive
that's a-
performance?
that
3
makes me
touchdowns,
so mad.
efficient.
Those
Didn't make
those
Exactly,
are the
he was
same
super
people.
efficient.
Those are the same people that never say Brady's the GOAT just because they think that they're thinking outside of the box, that they're the free thinkers of the world. They're
Yeah.
they're
They're
the
the
lone
people that
guys.
say that
they're their
Aaron
own
Rodgers
species.
is the GOAT.
They want attention. They want people to
Dan
argue
Marino.
with them.
So
They
tough
want
of a
someone to
player,
talk
Brady.
to. They want someone to argue with. So they say, you know what? I think Dan Marino is the greatest quarterback of all time, and with 0 rings, and one of the best coaches of all time. I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And like
a lot of people
no,
think
you just don't
Rodgers,
wanna
and
say-
that's so bad.
First of all, I can name you 3 quarterbacks better than Dan Marino before I get to Tom Brady. And second of all, Brady now has 7 rings. Shut up. Just shut. Just say Brady's the GOAT, and you can still have your discussion. You can still get your attention, okay? Because you can talk about Brady being the GOAT with somebody all day long because he's done so much in his career for you to talk about. And I just think that those are people that want attention. They want someone to argue with them. They think they're the free thinkers. They think they know about sports. I think they're deep about sports. And in reality, they're just making an idiotic comment just to gain attention. It just don't be stupid, okay? Don't be stupid.
Yep.
And they're being stupid by saying that.
Brady wins his 7th Q Vince Carter dunk contest. It's over.
It's
No
over.
no
7
debate.
rings.
No debate. No question about it.
And here's the thing, with sports becoming more popular, and like the NBA is getting more competitive. I mean, people care about sports so much more now than they did way back when, that I can't see a player getting 7 rings unless they're playing like 50 seasons in the NFL. Like, I can never see a single player getting that many rings because now sports are getting so competitive that it's just like it's anyone's ball game now. Kansas City can dominate, but they're probably Mahomes won't get to 7 rings. Yeah, he's got 1 now. He's not gonna get to 7 rings. Guys walk in free agency. They want to be.
I feel like he'll be close.
They went Brady.
I don't
the
think
Patriots
so.
With
dominated.
Mahomes at 50 mil a year, that's gonna
I
be
think
tough.
he'll be
Patriots.
close.
I don't.
I think he
could get to like
I don't get.
4,
I don't get. He
5.
gets past her 3 or 4.
No,
Yeah.
Luke, no, that's ridiculous. Because here's the thing: do you see in a span of 2 years, 1 year, Tampa Bay went from crap to Super Bowl? Like this happened in the NBA too. Same thing with the Lakers; they went from crap to finals. Because all you need are a couple guys to say, "Hey, let's join forces and play on the same team." And next thing you know, the Jacksonville Jaguars go undefeated and win the Super Bowl out of nowhere.
That's so much different than basketball, though.
It is.
So,
It is.
so much
No,
different
Here
than
come the
basketball.
random
no,
teams.
Nick, no.
That
Here
is
come
so
the
much
random
different than
teams of the
basketball.
sports.
You
Nick.
can't team up in football
No,
like
I'm
you
just
can in
saying.
basketball.
No, you cannot.
Okay,
Absolutely
Tampa
not.
Bay just did it and won the Super Bowl.
Not really.
Nick, no.
Really? Ray said, "Okay, Gronk, let's go."
Okay,
And
so
then here comes
every-
Antonio
Okay,
Brown.
Gronk
Look at
and-
that entire Nick. Look at the entire defense.
Oh yeah.
Look at the
defense was
entire
fine.
defense.
They had a
Football
good
is the
defense
ultimate
last year,
team
too.
sport. 3 people do not win a Super Bowl.
No,
22
here's the
people
thing.
plus a coach. No, it's not even close to basketball. I don't want to hear it.
I'm not saying it's close to basketball. Tampa Bay had the same defense last year.
Yeah, and they were
Okay.
really
First
good
run
defense.
defense,
They just
bottom
they
half
just
of the league
gave
in run
they
defense.
just had to
Their offense
defend.
was just terrible.
They just had to defend 30 extra drives because Jameis Winston was chucking it in the air for
They had
who
no
knows how
motivation.
long.
You don't have motivation when you're on a team like that.
I'm
It's the
just
Brady
exactly.
effect.
I'm just saying.
Motivate your
teams
guys
can
to
get.
be the best. That's what I
teams-
opened the podcast with.
Exactly.
I'm just saying teams get really good, really fast now, and really competitive. I don't see another player winning 7 rings unless they're playing insanely insane number of seasons.
Yeah,
But I
like
also-
the only
I think
so
we're at the
my
peak of
reasoning
sports.
for the
We're at the
Chiefs
peak
not
of
being
competitive
so
sports.
good is because of Mahomes' salary is
Yep.
like $50 million a year. You cannot pay for an O line. You cannot pay for
And
an
think about it,
entire
Travis
defense.
Kelce's only
You
got-
cannot pay
The
for Travis Kelsey, Patrick
But-
Mahomes,
yes,
and Tyreek Hill on the same
exactly.
field at
And
the same
Kelsey's
time.
already he's 32 next year.
Exactly.
That's the
Kelsey
point.
has
That's the point
3
that-
to 4 years of really good football. Max.
That's all he left out on his deal left.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that with players getting with inflation, players getting paid more money, the salary caps right now staying the same. The thing to go up for if any you want to create another long term
It has
dynasty. But the thing is,
increased. Schefter said
Bel-
it was 180 for next year.
Yeah.
Belichick did it right. He kept Brady. He built the system. He got the defense. He gave Brady his freedom. Brady was doing stuff he wanted. He got Brady. I mean, he did it right.
If anything
Okay,
for the
and
Chiefs, they're
You need another
falling-
Belichick. You need some team needs another Belichick to be there long term and be able to construct a roster. But I think the age of dynasties are getting a lot more shorter because so many more guys are just fantastic at what they do.
Exactly.
And care about
yeah.
sports. Like you have
See, like-
7-year-olds that can lift freaking cars in Alabama. Like like that's not true, but it's
Like-
ridiculous. Like I've seen videos like an 8-year-old kid that's like pulling a Volkswagen up a hill.
I mean,
Like,
12-year-olds
okay,
are getting
ridiculous.
looked at by D1 schools now.
Guys
I am
are
12.
like people are ridiculous now these days. The league is getting
Yeah.
so competitive.
That's what
Bring
made
it to a point where
Bill.
every receiver's DK Metcalf. like every receiver in the NFL. There's gonna be like there's gonna be like a 6'8", like 240 running back that runs like a 4.1 40. Like we're gonna get one of those guys too. Like the league is getting ridiculous that I don't think anyone can sustain a dynasty for this long.
That's what
anymore.
made Bill so great, because he realized you need all three phases of the game to be equally balanced. He would never pay or splurge on players that would cost his team in a different spot. Obviously, that kind of put the Patriots in a tough spot now. But if you even it out to the right spots, that's how he's always valued special teams. They've always had a good player on special teams. Defense was always evenly spread out. They'd have at least one good player at each position. These other teams now, it's all offense. Let's just splurge on offense. You're not going to win. Look who won. The team with the better defense, because guess what? That's how you win. And Kansas City, if the only way it lines up for them, they have a little Patriots-ish kind of window is where Brady dominated from 01 to 04, won, and then go 10 years of being good but not winning.
That's so weird. Is that basically you can argue that Brady did not win in the best years of his career.
The age of dynasties are going to end. The age of dynasties are coming to an end. There are going to be more teams, a more variety of teams that are going to be really good in the upcoming decades of football that I don't think a team can sustain a 20-something year dynasty like the Patriots did. And then Tom Brady's just getting some bonus points in Tampa right now. But he got his main rings in New England. Now he's just getting his bonus points, expanding on his greatness, expanding on his hardware, just to even further separate himself from the next best player of all time, which is, he's still going at 45. It's the league. Everything's. Bottom line is with all the players, people are taking sports so seriously now, so much more than they did before. It's increasing every single year in popularity and participation that I can't see a team sustaining a dynasty. I think
not baseball.
We got our GOATs now in every sport, and I don't see much change in the future just because of the competitiveness of every single sport. Everyone's going to be good. It's going to be tough to succeed. People are going to be more talented, but they're never going to have the same kind of success.
Yeah, but it evens out. If there's talent throughout, the Chiefs have draft picks. They can draft talent too if they need to.
Yeah, but so are every other team.
So it evens out.
We're seeing it all in the. We're seeing it. I'm not comparing NFL to NBA, but we're seeing this kind of. We're seeing this development in the NBA where every team is just getting competitive now.
This game really shined a light on how the Chiefs play and really how they're ran. They live and die on what Mahomes does, and if they just have a subpar game, they're terrible.
Just so much pressure to put on him. That's such unfair pressure to put on him.
That's why I don't see him winning more than one or two more Super Bowls, because they can't play like that.
I think they'll be back next year. I do.
I can't see anyone beating them in the AFC. I can't see them losing.
I think Kansas City will be. I think
Buffalo could contend in the next 3 years.
Andrew said it best about the longevity of the Chiefs and their future. Travis Kelce has a couple more years left. That's how many years Kansas City has left. Once Travis Kelce becomes ineffective, that team is going to be an issue because Kelce's on a 7-year deal. He's got a lot of money coming in. When you're paying him a lot of money, and then 3-4 years from now, and he can't produce from the final 2 years of his contract, then we have an issue. We have a big issue in Kansas City.
After his contract is up.
I'm pretty sure he's on a 4-year deal.
I thought he was on 7.
As soon as Kelce's contract is up, he's done with.
Whenever these guys' contract runs out,
4-year, $57 million that runs through.
Whenever 4 years from last, whatever. Whenever they start becoming ineffective, is when this team is going to start downfalling. So I think Kansas City has 3 to 4 more years left in the tank to really be dominant in the NFL. And if I tell you what, if Brady takes another one from Mahomes next year, you're sitting back and you're just waiting for Brady to retire, and that's the next time anyone in the AFC is going to win.
Brady's going to play until he's 47.
Brady's going to play. Here's the thing.
48 maybe.
Brady's diet, his health, his stamina is so good right now that he's just going to play until the league gets too competitive and too fast paced for him to keep up. That's when he's going to play until. Doesn't matter how old he is. Whenever that day comes, it could be when he's 45. It could be when he's 65. Whenever that day comes, that's when he's gone. When he realizes the league is just when he stops having fun. When he realizes the league's too fast paced, I'm struggling. Let me just retire and spend time with my family. He might actually retire at the 65-year-old retirement average age in America playing professional. Imagine that when he retires at that age.
I say he retires at 48. Just so weird. It's going to be so weird being a first ballot Hall of Famer, but in your 50s.
I can't make a guess. I honestly can't. I think it's because he'll look the same next year and the same year after that until
So that's the
league.
thing. So
it's
next
all based
year,
on the league. It's based on the league. If there's a team that rises out of the NFC that is so dominant that Brady can't even keep up with them, I think that's when he says, you know what, I'm not going to go back to the AFC. I'm just going to call it. There's no reason to go back. I'm just going to.
like that's what he says when he thinks he can't help his team and he can't give his 100%, which he's nowhere near because clearly he's the sole reason why Tampa Bay went from a bad team to a good team, is when he'll call it. But like he said, like his contract goes through next year, so he'll play that out. And that's when you're always like, if they win again, does he retire just because like went on back to back? But
no,
I
he
don't
won't.
see how. I don't see why he would.
He won't play until someone stands him up and says, "No, you're not." He will. It's not. He won't play until
that's what he is. He's not like he's not the guy who wants to go out on top. He wants to go out when he's dead.
Exactly.
If he loses in the Super Bowl next year, the Chiefs, he'll play another season. If he gets booted in the playoffs in the NFC next year, I think that's when he rethinks this. You know what? Whichever team may be, let's just say Seattle, and he gets kicked out by Seattle because Seattle's so dominant that he can't run with Seattle. He says, you know what? Seattle's young. Let's for the sake of the argument, Seattle's young. Next year they'll be even better. But what's the point, right? I'm not going to go back to the AFC. I'm not going to change teams. I'm not going to relocate my family. I'm happy here in Tampa Bay. What's the point? I just might as well retire.
Honestly, though, for Brady, it's going to take 2 or 3 of those. He's not just going to call it quits if he loses in the first round next year's playoffs. It'll have to be 2 to 3 in a row.
I think it's going to take him a loss in the playoffs, or either a second loss in the playoffs, or missing the playoffs.
Or like back-to-back losing seasons, that could do it for him.
It took him a first-round exit in the playoffs, and he said, I'm out of here. I'm not going to re-sign back.
No, it was also because his contract was expired.
I guess the timing
that was because of contract.
Bill Belichick wanted to keep
It wasn't
Garoppolo.
contract. It was simply Bill. It was simply
Bill
Bill.
Belichick wanted to keep Garoppolo. He wanted Brady out in 17.
After the Atlanta Super Bowl. After the Atlanta Super Bowl, he wanted Brady gone.
Yep.
That's why I think Bill's going to splurge to get Garoppolo back and give up way too much.
Belichick's not going to retire until he passes Shula.
Well, we know that. That's only 4 more seasons if they play well.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
But it's 343 and he's at 308.
Yeah.
No, he's more than 308. He's at
I thought he was at 300. I thought he was at. Well, I thought he has.
He's 311. He's at 311. He needs 32 more wins to tie. So
500.
4 bad seasons. 4 500 seasons he passed.
Bad for
500 seasons. A
Patriots.
Bad season for anybody. That's a bad season.
Are you searching it or am I searching it?
What I know it's at 311 because I was at win 300 and that was when they went to 8-0 against the Browns. And they won 4 more games last year and they won 7 this year. So he's at 311. And Shula's 343. I know that for a fact. I'm right now. I know for
343.
All right, just to wrap that conversation up and hopefully get to the NFL honors just briefly to talk about those. I'm just going to say one thing, and I think that Brady is in the best situation possible for him because he has a lot of receivers that he can throw to, but more importantly, he has a great defense, and they're all super young. Like Winfield was a rookie this year. I think this was Devin White's second year. I think this was Murphy Bunting's second year too. Like they're extremely good. They're probably at this point after last night, I would consider them a top 3 defense in the entire league. And they're one of the youngest defenses in the league. So he is in the perfect situation for him.
Look at that.
He's in the perfect situation.
Who would have thought?
I'm proud of him.
What next?
All right.
This says here. You said playoff win. Are you talking about playoff wins included 311, including the playoff wins?
All I know is he's at 311, and I don't know what that's included, but I know 311 because I was at win 300.
At the start of the season, he was 55 behind Shula, so now he's at 48.
So included playoff wins.
He has 280 in his career.
No, I was at win 300, so it's playoffs included.
This said okay, so it said.
It doesn't matter.
So
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Belichick's going to get it.
Because I was at win 300, and that was when they went to 8-0 against the Browns last year.
He needs 43 to tie Shula if we're counting playoff wins. If not playoff wins, he needs I don't know. I'm getting different things. This is ridiculous.
He's 32.
Just give me a straight answer. I can't ever get a straight answer online. It's like I got to read an article from and do math.
He
in
needs
my head.
32. Whatever.
Ridiculous.
Move on.
I was at
Move
win
on.
300, so I just think he's at 311 because that's what
Yeah.
makes
Yes.
the most sense.
Count it.
Move on.
Book
All
it.
right. NFL honors were also over the weekend. MVP Aaron Rodgers,
Boo.
cool. I'm fine with that. Offensive Player of the Year Derrick Henry, completely cool with that. That's fine. Defensive Rookie of the Year Chase Young, cool. These next three are or two, I guess. Two were the debatable ones, and the first one is
Stefanski, I'll give.
Stefanski. Sure, I thought it should have been McDermott, but whatever.
Yeah.
We can
I thought it was McDermott. Yeah.
potato
They could both
potato
be it.
doesn't
Doesn't
really
matter.
matter. Potato potato.
Not as bad as the other two.
Defensive Player of the Year. Now, Aaron Donald's a good player and all, but TJ Watt having more sacks in less games played, to me, is a better season. I think he should have won that
He had
award.
better
should've.
stats in every single category except one.
Yeah. And he played less games.
And he played
I
less
think.
games.
Wait,
Mhm.
I
By
think.
one.
I don't know how many Aaron Donald played, but I know.
16-15. It was 16-15.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I knew TJ Watt played 15 games. I didn't know if Aaron Donald played the full 16. But yeah, I think he should have won that award, and I feel like he will eventually sometime because he's also in his second or third year. He's super young too. He has a
Third,
second,
I think.
second or third year, something like that.
He
has a lot
I
of.
wanna say
He's gonna
third.
win one. He's
He's
gonna win a
win
few.
one, but I think this should have been one of them. I mean, Aaron Donald again. Aaron Donald is the runner-up in my opinion. It was between those two, so they didn't go with a complete oddball weirdo like I don't freaking know,
Yeah.
Josh Norman from the Bills or some I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, also I didn't mention comeback player of the year, which was Alex Smith. It should have been Josh Norman for actually playing more football after getting stiff-armed by Derrick Henry. That deserves comeback player of the year right there, in my opinion.
Facts.
So I think he should have gotten that. But
Yeah.
that was
I
a
feel
bad
like
one.
Aaron Donald's kind of like Mike Trout. They're always just going to be in the conversation. But when you have
Yeah.
a season like TJ Watt did, you have to give it to the other guy because you know Aaron Donald's going to probably win it next year.
Yes. Yeah.
That's just also, I mean, not only that good of a season, but a better season than Donald. But whatever.
Mhm.
That's
And then the
that's fine.
second one that I thought was a little bit worse was Justin Herbert winning Rookie of the Year.
Much worse.
Now, I get it. He had the rookie touchdown record for quarterbacks, but Justin Jefferson also had the rookie receiving yards record in the Super Bowl era because I looked it up today, and someone in like 1960 or something like that, which was before the Super Bowl era, they had a more receiving yards, like by 60 or 73 or something like that. So he didn't have the official, but he had Super Bowl era, which is everyone really only goes off of the Super Bowl era. And the reason I thought he should have won it over Herbert is because of his, I don't know what the right word is. Longevity isn't that consistency. That's what I'll say. Consistency. He was a lot more consistent. Okay, this is just distracting. I keep getting freaking texts on my
Don't look
computer.
at your phone. Just freaking
It's
say
not.
it.
It's on my computer. It keeps freaking popping up on my freaking computer because you guys are texting and sitting right here. But anyways,
Because I thought this argument was over. I just wanted to. I found it, and I just wanted. To...
Argument's
okay.
over. We're freaking talking.
yeah, save it for. Thanks, Brian, for that input. But you could have saved it for the end of the podcast because we were done with it. But I just think it should have been
Well,
Jefferson.
blame Nick for sending the freaking picture.
Yeah, I know. That's
Who cares?
Well, I mean,
doesn't
I'm
matter.
blaming you for having literally
Doesn't
no
matter.
ability
Talk.
to focus on anything.
Luke, please.
me.
After
It was
you.
kept flashing across my screen. How am I not supposed to? And
have
I'm
to-
looking at my screen, and all three of you are like this. So I'm just talking to
Justin
myself.
Jefferson should have won. It's plain
Justin
and-
Jefferson
plain
should have
and
won
simple.
because he was a
actually
lot.
listening.
He was a lot more consistent. Herbert had a fantastic start, middle of the season, especially like after that Patriots game. He kind of really didn't play that well, and then he had a few good games at the end of the season. Justin Jefferson throughout was fantastic.
They also won 4 games?
Who, the Chargers? Yeah, and the
How
Vikings
many
were
wins did the
in-
Chargers have? Yeah.
They were in a
7-9. They finished 7-9.
they were- yeah, they were in a
They
play-
won 3 in a row in the year.
They were in a playoff hunt late in the year, and he was a huge part of it. So I
Well,
think that he was.
Playoff hunt.
They were.
Like, yeah,
They were.
it was, but it wasn't.
Since
at the same time.
after the Pats game, they won 3 in a row.
Who? Minnesota?
Whatever. Doesn't matter. Justin Jefferson should have
Or
won.
4 in a row.
Who?
Justin Jefferson was also an All-Pro and
Second
Pro
team,
Bowler.
All Pro,
I
second
think.
team. Yeah. In
Second team
a
All-Pro.
league
I don't
where
know if he was a Pro Bowler, but
I think he was. I don't know. They didn't have a Pro Bowl. Also, no one watches the Pro Bowl, so it doesn't even matter anyways. That's the most useless all-star game out of all the professional sports.
Facts.
I'm
So
not arguing one or the other. I'm just saying that. Did you guys? I had no expectation that Justin Jefferson would win because they always give it to the quarterback. So I would.
no, I know. It's
I
not.
knew that it was gonna be Justin Herbert because he's a quarterback, but Justin Jefferson had the better season.
He did.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I didn't. I didn't
think
know. But
I personally think that if Joe Burrow didn't get hurt, that he might have had it. He might have because he was playing so good. I mean, the Bengals stink.
But he
just like
also
the
wasn't on
Chargers do,
pace.
but
I don't think he was
Burrow,
on
I
pace
was
to
really impressed with
break
Burrow.
records
my
like
God.
Herbert did. I don't think he was on that pace.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, he
Herbert-
wasn't on the pace.
Herbert was on pace, and that Burrow was not.
The Chargers were also in games,
For what?
Cool.
but they lost a
Rookie pass
ton of.
record.
What? Who are you saying cool to? No, never mind. Whatever.
Brian just blurted a random word
Yeah, he just said cool. I don't know why. He was just like cool, and
for
then
no reason.
Me?
yeah,
Yeah,
Me?
You just said cool like randomly. No reason.
No, you said because Luke said, or no, you said for what? And then I said the rookie pass record because he wasn't in the conversation, or he wasn't on pace.
And, then you
And I
said
guess I
cool.
must have mumbled it in a way that you thought I said cool.
No, you said cool out loud in your mic. You said
It doesn't
cool.
matter.
Definitely
Just
did not.
I don't know. But the I forget where I was. Oh, the Chargers were also in a lot of games, but they lost a ton of games in the
Cool.
fourth quarter.
The
I heard
Bengals
it
were
there.
too. I mean, I'm not arguing.
No, the Bengals were not in
whatever.
games in the fourth quarter. The Chargers
No,
were
they
in a
were
ton
not.
of
The
games in the
Chargers
fourth
were.
quarter. They just blew it, and
Well,
the,
yeah.
You're learning the
Elton Neal.
Patriots won.
Whatever.
Obviously.
Who cares? Whatever. It doesn't matter who Jefferson should have won. Herbert did win.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just wrap it
We
up.
done.
Story.
Final
We're
thoughts.
Done. We're done.
Final
No,
thoughts.
nothing.
No.
Meh.
Bah. Brian's a sheep.
No, I'm a
Go
goat.
Pats!
Go Pats.
Yeah, we
go,
can say go Pats
yeah,
again now.
Go Pats. Go
Go Pats.
Pats.
Pat.
No.
Go Pats.
Go Pats, not Bucks. It's the first time I'll say it. I'll say go Pats just to say go Pats because go
Hey,
Pats.
Bill, don't F
Easy
it up, you
vote.
douchebag.
Oh, he'll believe me. Right guard coming your way, Patriots fans from the NFL draft. 14th pick. We
I'll
got
trade
you.
it for like 2 third rounders.
Come on, give me
Yeah.
macaroni and cheese.
He'll be a second rounder. Maybe late first.
I just want a new quarterback. I don't want to see Stidham start. I want a new change in the QB. I
Yeah.
love
They
to see
said the
change.
report was that the Patriots are going to splurge in free agency apparently and draft
There's always a freaking report
skill
for everything.
players
There's
in
a
the
report for
draft.
everything, Brian. I mean, at the end of the day, there was a
They said they're
report
going to look for their quarterback in a trade or free
there was
agency.
a report the Red Sox are going to make a big move. Boom, Garrett Richards. Like the reports are like there are always
Hey,
reports.
Adam
about
Adavino.
stuff.
Adam Adavino. Trust.
There are always
I keep
reports
forgetting
about
about
stuff.
them.
That
That's
doesn't
a
mean
big
they're,
one.
that doesn't mean they're
Oh,
true.
it's
I'm
pretty
just
good.
saying this. I just want to. I love to see a new change in the QB.
Because
And
Cam Newton sucks.
Cam Newton. Sucks.
Facts.
I'm saying it now.
Can you
Newton
finally
sucks.
say it? Cam Newton god awful, terrible, and doesn't
So bad.
deserve to ever play the sport of football ever again.
Dude, Brady
But,
threw more passing touchdowns
there
in
are
the
reports
playoffs.
of
Yes, I
getting
sent
all
you that.
2
Brady had
for
more
20
pass
deal.
touchdowns in the playoffs than
Cam
than
Newton
Newton had all year.
sucks.
Yeah,
But he's
I loved him like weeks.
but
one
there are
through three. I was
teams that
like,
are willing to give him a 2 for 40.
and then I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
for Washington.
weeks 1 through 3, I was like, Cam Newton, my freaking guy. And then on Saturday morning, I get a text from my dad says Cam has cooties, and I was like, what? COVID-19.
That was tough.
Cam
That was
Newton. And I was like, dang.
Big
Mhm.
tough.
Then we get and then we didn't get spanked, but we had Cam would have beaten the Chiefs. Well, now I'm starting to think no, but
Go Chefs.
Well, Cam at that point wasn't as special needs as
that's
he is at
true.
this-
That's
at the
true.
end of the
Cam at
season.
that point could have gotten it. Dang it!
Kim sucks.
The
though.
Chiefs. I want to be.
All Kim had to do was kick it out against the Seahawks and we win that
All you
game.
had to do
Kick
was
it
wear
out.
a mask.
Kick it
and
out for 3.
quarantine.
He had to kick it out for 3.
he had to bump. He had to just bump it out, and he had a walk-in touchdown. Instead, he's like, "I'm gonna run to the pile." Because
I'm gonna try and hurdle whoever upended him. Was it Jamal Adams?
literally all he had to do was look left, and everyone just dove in. He just had to run like a freaking
They
sweep
should've-
almost.
They should have done
Or
the,
he
the pass
could've-
to Jakob Johnson. That would have been awesome. Two
It's
touchdowns for
also
Jakob.
it's also
QB
Cam.
sneak?
He's like yeah, but it's also Cam. He could have bulldozed his way through. He's 10'7", 500 pounds. He could have
And then he
freaking
got flipped
figured
over,
something
but then he
out.
got flipped over.
Yeah, and then he
like it was
got
nobody's
like
business.
freaking flipped, and
Whatever.
he lost like 3
We
yards.
don't need to talk about that
Are we talking
anymore.
about week
and
2 back
He
in
should have
September?
jumped.
Yeah, we
Remember
don't-
Carolina
we
when
need
he-
to talk
when he
about
did a
it.
full front flip over
Doesn't
somebody?
matter.
Yeah, Kim sucks.
I'm actually gonna ask the final
three,
question
Cam was
again
my
because
buddy.
that was final thoughts again. But also because this is our last time in probably I don't know how many months that we're gonna be talking about football.
Well, we're going to talk about the draft. We're going to talk about free
draft
agency
and
we got
stuff,
but-
draft,
but football's
free
done
agent-
for
But
a
it's
while.
not. That's not the
Luke,
same.
Luke, we're not going to go several months without talking about football. We're not going to go several months without talking
Yeah,
about
but
just
it's
basketball
not.
and
It's
baseball.
not the same.
No, but I'm
It's
saying for the
not. It's
past
not the
few
same
months
as
we've
talking
but
about
the past few months
games.
we've been talking about games and seasons and playoffs and stuff like that. So football,
Yeah,
we're gonna
free
have to wait.
agency,
NFL, the
trades
offseason's
in the
so
draft.
long.
Hey,
We
hey,
have to wait
hey, hey,
7
we get
months
it
for there
done.
to be a game again.
But we have other sports to talk
podcast.
about
We're
that
gonna
we
get it
haven't
done.
talked
This is a
about for a
podcast.
while. The NBA
Hey,
and
guys,
the
guess
NHL
what today
have had
was?
enough games. What was
Monday.
today?
Monday.
Today was Truck Day.
Truck day.
Tomorrow's Pizza Day.
As in,
Tomorrow's
The
Pizza
gears going down to Fort Myers for the Sox.
Oh
leaving
yeah,
Fenway. It was Truck Day.
Yeah,
I love Truck
baby.
Day.
yeah.
Truck Day.
Go
Go
Sox.
Sox.
Go Red Sox.
Go Sox and
Go
go
Sox.
Pats.
Go
That's
Pats.
the final thought.
That's
Go
my final
Bruins.
thought. Go,
Go
Sox and
Sox.
Pats.
Go Bruins
Thank you,
because they're actually
guys.
good.
Yeah,
Screw the Celtics.
and yeah, screw the
Don't
Celtics.
screw the Celtics. I like Peyton
Thank
Pritchard.
you,
Exactly.
everybody, for listening. Thank you for sticking with us for the entire NFL season. But we're not going anywhere because we got other sports to talk about. We're not one-dimensional.
For all the right predictions and the wrong predictions.
For all the
Yep.
right.
And the-
Well, we'll talk about that on
And the
Thursday.
Leonard
We'll talk about
Fournette
that on
2-touchdown
Thursday.
predictions.
We'll talk about that Thursday. Talk about that
Bottom
Thursday.
of the leaderboard.
Thank you guys for listening. Go follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Big 4_podcast.
This
I forgot to say that at the
guy.
beginning.
Underscore. Remember the
See
underscore.
you later.